When I first bought the Springfield 45, I bought a box of the Blazer 45 ACP. And that's what I've been using all the time, reloading over and over. And they're fine. The brass seems to hold up very well. But there's a thing about these. They have the small pistol primer, is what they use. Well, when I got this Thompson, I started really going through 45. You know, just you can really eat it up with that. You know, 30 round stick, 20 round stick, 50 round drum. Whatever you put in there, you tend to empty it. So, one of my viewers, quite a while back, sent me some 45 brass. And I thought, well, I better use that so I can have more on hand. You know, that was a nice gesture on his part because it saved me having to buy. But the difference is this stuff is the large pistol primer, which I think actually most 45 is. But this Blazer stuff happened to be small, and that's what I'm set up to load. But I thought, well, no big deal. It's easy enough to switch my reloader to the large, you know, because I switch back and forth from to large rifle all the time. You know, just changing that little flipper deal in there and the different primer. So when I was in town, I figured, well, I'll pick up some large pistol primers. Well, when I looked, they didn't have the CCI, and I prefer to use the CCI. It's just what I've always used. You know, if I got a choice, that's what I'm going to go for. All I had in the large pistol was the Magnums. Well, I didn't want to use them. I think that's kind of a rip-off. You know, it's supposed to be for hard to ignite powders. Well, you know, I'm using Bullseye. It's not hard to ignite. So I figured, well, okay, all they had was Federal. And nothing against Federal, but like I say, I'm used to using the CCI. So I was going to stick with them. Plus, the way the packaging is a little different. These come in these big boxes, twice as big as the CCI ones, but the same amount of primers. You know, it's $100 in a box. Well, so I said, well, I'll just take one box. I can set everything up then and start running them. And this is the first time I've seen, you know, when they got them off the shelf, then they put them in this restricted merchandise bag. And then when I brought them up to the counter, they had to fart around, you know, they sealed the bag up and tried to scan it through the plastic. Well, I'm always a little leery anytime they change something like this. You know, so I don't think I'll be buying primers there again. But, you know, that was just a new thing to me. But it made me think next time I go to where I normally buy my primers, I'm going to buy maybe a couple thousand of the large pistol. Because, like I say, I eat that 45 up. But I don't know what the theory behind this restricted stuff is. But like I say, it just makes me suspicious. And the nuisance, you know, I can't imagine, like, say, if I'd have bought a half dozen boxes of primers, how was that clerk going to fart around and get that scan on a half dozen of them? Just some new policy that makes me nervous. Though it did surprise me. Then when I went to the checkout, you know, like I say, she had to fart around and try to scan that, but she didn't ask for identification, you know, because I've had it before. The one time in the same store I bought one of the Lyman reloading books, and since it came out of the ammunition area, it had to be scanned. You know, my driver's license had to be scanned to buy that. And I thought, well, that was silly. Well, no, I bought the primers. They went through all this monkey work, and she didn't even have to scan my ID. But I just get tired of them and their restricted merchandise policies. Always makes me a little nervous. So I better stock up.